She waited 10 years for the man who promised to come back. The train arrived exactly 10 years after he had disappeared. Emily wasn't waiting for anyone. She had only stopped at the station on her way to visit her mother's grave. But when the doors opened, one man stepped onto the platform wearing the same brown leather jacket she had given her fiancé a decade earlier. Her heart nearly stopped. He looked older, tired, broken. In his hand was a bundle of letters, every one of them addressed to him in Emily's handwriting. For 10 years, she believed he had abandoned her. For 10 years, she remembered his final promise. Wait for me, I'll come back. The question was no longer whether he had returned. The question was why it had taken him 10 years. 10 years earlier, Emily Harper worked in a small bookstore in Portland, Oregon. One rainy evening, a soaked stranger rushed inside just before closing. "Do you have a book that can fix terrible timing?" he joked. Emily smiled. "Try the fiction section." His name was Daniel Carter. He came back the next day, then the next. Soon they weren't talking about books anymore. They were talking about dreams, family, and the future they hoped to build together. Daniel often said, "Home isn't a place, it's the person you can't imagine living without." 2 years later, they were engaged. Life felt perfect until Daniel received devastating news. His younger sister, studying in Scotland, had been badly injured in a car accident. She needed expensive surgeries their family couldn't afford. To help pay the bills, Daniel accepted a high-paying engineering contract overseas. "I'll only be gone 18 months, he promised. The night before he left, he placed a silver compass necklace around Emily's neck. "So you'll always know where my heart is." The next morning, he was gone. At first, everything was normal. They talked every week. They counted down the days until he returned. Then the calls stopped. Emails went unanswered. Letters came back unopened. Months turned into years. Daniel's company claimed they had lost contact with him after an incident at the worksite. No one could explain where he had gone. Friends told Emily to move on. Her family believed Daniel had abandoned her, but every birthday and every Christmas, Emily wrote him another letter and kept it safely in a wooden box beneath her bed. She never stopped hoping. 10 years later, that hope suddenly stood in front of her. Daniel looked at her with tears in his eyes. "I'm sorry," he whispered. Emily's voice trembled. "You promised you'd come back." "I know." "Then where were you?" Daniel slowly handed her the letters. "I never received them." He explained that after exposing dangerous safety violations at the construction company, corrupt officials falsely accused him of theft. His passport was taken away, and he spent years trapped in legal battles with no way to contact anyone back home. "I wrote to you," he said quietly. "Hundreds of times. None of my letters were ever sent." Emily wanted to believe him, but 10 years of pain couldn't disappear in a single conversation. "What if you're telling me this because you feel guilty?" she asked. Daniel reached into his bag and pulled out a worn notebook. Every page carried a date. Every birthday, every anniversary, every Christmas. Each entry ended with the same sentence: "Still coming home." Emily could no longer hold back her tears. Over the following weeks, they talked for hours. They didn't pretend the lost years hadn't happened. They shared every fear, every lonely night, and every unanswered question. One evening, Emily admitted something she had never told anyone. "I was supposed to marry someone else 3 years ago." Daniel looked down. "What happened?" "I realized I was trying to replace you, not love him." Silence filled the air. Finally, Daniel said, "I can't ask you to give me those 10 years back." Emily smiled softly. "No, but you can make the years ahead worth waiting for." He gently took her hand, afraid she might let go. She didn't. A year later, they married beside the same river where they had once dreamed about their future. The silver compass rested around Emily's neck once again. Some promises aren't kept on time. Some journeys take longer than anyone expects. But true love isn't measured by the years that are lost. It's measured by the courage to keep believing, even when the world tells you to give up. And sometimes, the longest wait leads to the most beautiful homecoming.